Okay, so you know core data, but how do you implement it into an existing project? Alex here from Rebeloper.com, and I want you to hit that subscribe button because in this tutorial we are going to build out this layout of a project with core data, and we are going to use core data stacks. So let's dive in. So let's jump right into it and let me explain what core data stacks is. Well, if you have been following along this tutorial series, make sure to check out the link in the description for the playlist. You will know that we have already started our project by checking that use core data on the template when we are creating a new Xcode project. Now we are going to learn how to not use that and create our very own core data stack. In the meanwhile, we are going to learn a lot more about how to fetch, delete, and all of those extra variables that you can encounter with entities, but not all of them, but some of them with our demo project. And let me just show you what the demo project will consist of. And basically what we are going to build out is cat meals. Yes, that's right. We are going to track our cat's meals. And that is pretty simple. Pretty simple, the app, but not that pretty simple to use it with core data. But let's just move on to learn how to do that. We are going to add some cats. So, and after we add them, we can add some meals to it. So let's see, let's feed, or if we just added that by mistake, let's just delete that. Or let's just take a look at Bella here. Let's feed her because she looks so nice. Okay, and finally, let's add a new cat here. Let's say Zoe and submit. Let's choose a photo for Zoe and let's choose from these. Let's see, really nice. Let's choose this one, and then we can feed her. Okay, so that is what we are going to build out today. And before we start, let me just remind you about Dev Factory. Dev Factory is where I can teach you whatever you want about iOS development in a Zoom call. So go ahead and check that out on the rebeloper.com/mentoring. Okay, so now that is out of the way, make sure to check out the link again in the description for the playlist, but I want you to know that we also have some resources here, and core data free, demo free resources. You will see the link, but what you need to be aware of is that we have a cat folder with all the cat images, a model folder with some models that we are going to build out, and some Swift files that we are going to use because, we are not going to bother building out this app for scratch, like the UI from scratch, because we are going to do this from scratch. But we are going to use Spark UI. If you don't know what Spark UI is, that is a framework that I built so you can build out UI really fast. So let's just go ahead and create a new Xcode project here. So let's go and select create new Xcode project. Let me just resize this so you can see better. And the aim of this tutorial series is to make core data fun. So let's just name this core data fun and free, because this is the third project in this tutorial series. Go ahead and check out the link in the description for the playlist. Now we are going to use Swift and Storyboard. We are not going to use storyboards, but we are going to check this, not Swift UI, but Storyboard, so we can use UIKit and its friends. So make sure that you uncheck use core data, because we are going to build out our core data stack on our own. So let's find a place here, and let me just add in here create Git repository on my Mac, because I will share this on my GitHub channel. Go ahead and take a look at the links down below, because you will find all of them right over here, what you basically need. Okay, so first things first, let's get rid of our main.storyboard. So let's delete that, move to trash, and then let's just go here under main interface. Let's just delete that, select info, application scene manifest, scene configuration, application, and if you go all the way down, you just delete storyboard name. You need to delete it, not just the value, but the whole key value pair. Now we need to go into scene.get and yeah, let's just launch our view controller from code. So what we need here is add window scene. And if you are following along this channel, you will know I do this quite a lot. So window equals UI window, and then window scene. Let's just use our created window scene. Now window make key and visible. So make key and visible. Let's create our controller, our view controller. And yeah, let's just set our window dot root view controller to be our view control, our controller. Sorry. So let me just hit Command C there and paste that in there with Command V. Okay, so that should be it. Let us just build and run this project on our simulator. And yeah, build has succeeded. Really fun. And yeah, we see a blank a screen. That is how it should be. Okay, so let's move on and let's import Spark UI because we are going to use Spark UI. So if you don't want to use Spark UI, you just build out this kind of UI for yourself. You don't really have to if you don't want to, but yeah, Spark UI makes our life much easier. So let's just select that and click on next there. And make sure that the version number for this tutorial needs to be 0.11.11, and let's set this to exact. Okay, now Spark UI has evolved a little bit, but not in this case. Go ahead and check out the repository if you want to. This will work perfectly with 0.11.11. Okay, let's wrap on next and wait for the fetch. Okay, let's just click on finish here. And there we go. So what's next? Yeah, we need to remove this view controller. So let's move to trash here and let's add in our view controllers, like the Swift files rather. So let's just select all of these and drag and drop into your project. Now make sure that copy items if needed is checked, create groups is checked, and of course you need to add to targets. So let's click on finish there. And let's hit Command B so we can be pretty sure that, yes, yeah, there's a little bit of typo here. Let me just remove this. There we go. Okay, looks really nice. I will fix this. When you will add these, you won't have this issue. So let's see. Let's hit Command B and see if we build succeeded. Really nice. Okay, and now let us just stop this and run on our phone. Let's see what this looks like currently. And of course, if you do want to have all of those nice cats, go ahead and grab them from this folder. And all you have to do is go, let me just show you. So go into your photos and just drag and drop them onto the simulator, so you will have access to all of them. Okay, so that's that. Let's see, let's just build and run one final time and see if we get anything. And yeah, it runs, so that's okay. So let me just take a look at our app delegate, because we are going to talk about core data stack. And before we dive into implementing core data stack, we are going to take a look at it, because if you would have chosen to use core data, then in the app delegate you would have been created your managed contacts and so on, all of the core data stuff that comes along with that template. Now we are going to use this core data stack that I gave you by default. What this does is, yeah, just create our managed context, well, the core data stack for ourselves. Go ahead and take a look at it. What you need to kind of pay attention to here is that we also have this uses CloudKit, which is set to true. Now, if you do want to use CloudKit, you just initialize this with uses CloudKit true. I will initialize this in just a moment. And here we have our managed context, our store container. Yeah, if you have followed along the previous tutorials, then you will know that these are the main building blocks of the core data stack. Now, I have created here a save context because, yeah, we always try to save our managed context, and it just guards against changes. So if it doesn't have changes, we just return. Otherwise, we do try catch our managed context dot save. And we have some extra here, like a fetch managed object, and yeah, we can fetch by entity name, and we have a simple handle error. Yeah, if you just want to use fatal error, or if you just want to go ahead and print it out. Yeah, it depends. Go ahead and check out. It's a really small file, but here we have our core data stack. So what we are going to do is basically add that core data stack to our project. So let's go back to our app-delegate and let's see our scene delegate rather, because we want to find the row where we have window. So let's create our core data stack. There we go. And that will be core data stack. There we go. But we still need to create our model. So before we do that, let's just go and create new file. And let's see here, data model. Let's click on next here, and let's just name this core data fun free. Okay, let's create that, and it should appear here. Really nice. So let's just copy this out so we don't get any typos, and back in scene delegate, now we can create our data stack. So var core data stack equals core data stack. There we go. And as you can see, we can use a model name or the other one, uses CloudKit or uses fatal error. We're just going to go with the default, and let's just paste our name in there. So now we need to add that into our view controller. So let's go into the, first of all, into the view controller, and let's create our our variable, our property for our, or let's go add it to the dependencies, because that is what it is, core data stack, and it will be of type core data stack. And we really want to add this, so we unwrap it with a bang. If we don't have it, then the application should terminate. Well, it should crash. And now let's go back to our scene delegate, and when we initialized our controller, yeah, let's hit Command B so we get some auto completion. Build succeeded, okay, and now I can just type out core data stack equals our core data stack that we created up here. Okay, so now that we have that taken care of, we want to save on the core data stack whenever this application goes into the background, and that will be it on our scene delegate. So core data stack and save context. We are going to use the save context function that we have created on the core data stack. We could use completion, but you don't have to here. Okay, so now let's move on to our view controller. And yeah, as you can see, we already have some cats and cat name. Go ahead and check out the whole project here about the files. I'm just going to move forward by teaching you about core data because, yeah, it takes a lot of time otherwise. So what we are going to do is just comment out the cats tuple here, so the array of tuples rather, and add in here a new variable, and that will be again cats, why not? And we are going to create an empty array of cats. So there we go, cat. But what is this cat? We need to create this kind of model. So go ahead and go into your resources, and here you can see all the models that we are going to build out. So let's just start off with this one. Let's see here. So let me just make this a little bit smaller so we can see all of it. Okay, so that is for the meals. Let's start off with the meals. Why not? The meal has a date and basically that's it. So let's go into our core data fun. Let's add a new entity. Let's name this meal. Okay, and let's add in here. Now let's see how did I name that. Date. That's right. Date, and that will be date. Okay, so we are going to take a look at relationships after we create our cat. So let me just go ahead and open maybe model 1 up. Let's see here. Now model 1 has the cat, yeah, and we have image data and a name. Okay, let's go here, add a new entity, and that will be cat. And you should be pretty familiar with this if you if you have taken a look at the previous videos. Now let's take a look at what we need to add in here. Image data and name. Okay, so image data, that will be a binary data, and name, that will be a string. Okay, so under the image data, let me just go here and check here allows external storage. And now it's time to take a look at the relationships. As you can see, the cat has a relationship with meals, with the meals relationship name. So let's tap here and tap in here meals and meal, and let's set this to many. Okay, let me just make here some. Select our meals relationship and select this to many. Okay, and now let's just go to meals. Let's create a new one, and there we go, cat meals and to 1. Okay, cat, the destination cat, meals, and to 1. Now let's go back to the cat. As you can see, the inverse of it is cat. Really nice. Okay, now we have set all of this up. We need to set the code gen to be manual /none because we want to have those files. Again, if you don't know what I'm doing, take a look at the previous video in the tutorial series. Okay, link in the description. So let's go to editor and create NS manage object subclass. So let's just select core data fun free here. Next, make sure that you check both meal and cat. Next, and let's create that there. It will just drop it right over there, but I really like to just drag and drop it into the root folder of our project, not the project as the root folder. And yeah, that's that. Now you might want to close your project now because Xcode sometimes doesn't realize this. So let's just close this and open it up again, maybe close Xcode all together. But now we should be able to have, yes, there we go, cat, as you can see, it's green. So we should be able to get that. So let's go back to our view controller. There we were. So now we have an array of cats. How awesome is that? Okay, so yeah, that's the first thing that we want to do in our view controller. Now, how does this work? Well, basically what we are doing here is having a bar bottom item. And what this does is currently it's just going to show an alert and it shows the show choose image source type alert controller when we add some text. What basically that means is we're going to choose a simple image. So once we did choose our image source, like the image from the alert controller, we want to basically subscribe to that image picker controller image. And when we do get back that image, then we do some stuff. As you can see, we have an error here because the cats is no longer available here. But let's just comment all of this out and let's rewrite this. So once we do get our image, we want to create a cat. That will be a cat, and we are going to use a context. And where is our context? Well, it's in the core data stack. So self core data stack managed context. There we go. So we created our cat entity here. Well, a cat from our entity model, and let's add our cat's name to be our self.cat name, because now we do have our cat name at this point. And now we need to add our image. So image data, there we go. We can only save image data, like binary data. So we need to grab our image and use PNG data. Okay, and because image data on the cat needs to be an optional, it's okay to have an optional right over here. Now, finally, we want to go ahead and save the context. So how do we do that? Again, we are going to grab our core data stack and save context. I don't care about the completion right now. And after that, we want to go and fetch. Now, this fetch, as you can see, is just empty right now, and it's going to be called on load when this view controller loads. But yeah, we are going to take care of that. But yeah, once we do save, we want to fetch all the data. So let's take care of our fetch here. So what we want to do here is, first of all, let's create our cat fetch. Cat fetch. How rhymey is that? And that will be of type NS fetch request, and we need to add in here our cat and cat dot fetch request. Yeah, so you already know this if you have been following along. Finally, we need to have a do catch statement here, and what we want is grab all of our cats. Let cats equals, and yeah, because we are going to try on core data stack again, we are going to grab our managed context and fetch our, and if you were paying attention, you saw that it froze, so do catch is okay here. Our cat fetch goes right into there. Now I'm just going to delete pattern. We're just going to use the error, and going to use something called alert from Spark UI. What you need to do is you have to know is this is a UI alert controller. So alert show error, and error dot localized description. You just show a plain old UI alert, or just print it out. But yeah, you should definitely use some error handling. Now the cats hasn't been used, so what we are going to use is go ahead and call self.cats, and as you can see, it's an array of cats, and just add the fetched cats there. And basically that is it. Okay, so that is our fetch function. What else do we need here? Well, we just need to scroll all the way down, and as you can see, the cell doesn't really, well, it can't add in here cats, because yeah, it's another type, and of course when we did select item, that's also an issue there. So let's go into our cat cell and take a look at that. So cat cell, and as you can see, it's asking us for a tuple here, but we are going to just simply remove that and add in here a cat. And finally, also here under configure views, we want to add in here a cat object. And yeah, basically that should fix it. Let's go and change the name label and image view. So let's comment that out and add in here some new stuff for the name label and image view. Let's start off with the name label dot text equals item, and this is a cat item, so let's add in here a dot, and as you can see we have a name. How convenient. And now we need to grab our image from the image data. So first of all we need to make sure that we have some data, so we guard let unwrap that, so guard let data, and that is item dot image data. So now we do have our data. Let's just create our image views image. So image view image equals UI image, and we are going to use the one with the data. Okay, data dot data. There we go. So yeah, that's it for our cell. Now what we still have to do is go into the details view controller and add our cat there. So let's just go back into our view controller. Let's hit Command B so we can see that all of this is already set up. Yeah, cats, and that's right. Now we need to go into the details view controller. And as you can see, we need to have here something called cat. So because yeah, on the details view controller we pass on the cat. Let's just go all the way up here, and instead of our tuple, let's just add in here our variable cat and of type cat. Okay, and while we are here, let's just add in our core data stack. So var core data stack and of type core data stack. Okay, because yeah, we are going to use the core data stack on the details view controller also. Okay, so one final thing is that we need to add our controllers core. Yeah, let's just hit Command B so we get auto completion real nice. Core data stack equals core data stack. Really nice. Let's hit Command B and let's see, what do we have here? Yeah, we need to take care of our details view controller right now. Now, because we have removed the cat tuple, now what we need to do is just fix some things here, like the cat.0 will be cat.name, because yeah, that's the name. And let's just grab our image the same way that we did, and that is with the guard let unwrap. So data, and that will be our cat dot image data. There we go. And now for the image, instead of cat.1, we want to have a UI image. There we go, with a data of a data. There we go. And yeah, let's hit Command B, and hopefully that should be enough. Build has succeeded. Okay, now what do we want to do in this view controller? Because now on the view controller we already did everything that we had to. We have set up all of the core data stack, and we have migrated our cats tuple to our cats array model. Okay, so on the details view controller we kind of want to show the image of our cat, and we want to have a collection view controller of list of meals which will have dates on them. So let's just go there, and let's just create our collection view controller first. Details view controller, and I already have it here, so all you have to do is just uncomment it. There we go. And if we would just scroll a little bit down, you will see that I already implemented all of these delegates. All we have to do is just uncomment them. So let's just do them. There we go. Okay, let's hit Command B so we see that everything works okay. Well, it doesn't, because we have removed these marks, and yeah, we need to take care of the meal cell also. So make sure that this mark is unchecked. Okay, so now let's take a look finally at the meal cell. What is this? Well, luckily you just select everything here with Command A, and with Command / you uncomment that, and you already have your meal cell. So let's go back, hit Command B again, and yeah, that will be it. So let's take care of this little value of ns set has no subscripts. So to fix this, let's go into our cat core data properties, and under meals, you can see, let's just add this to be an array of a meal. And let's hit Command B. Maybe this will fix it. If it doesn't, yeah, but it did. So if it doesn't, just quit Xcode and relaunch again. So that has been fixed. So what else do we need to add in here? First of all, we kind of forgot about adding that collection view right over here. Let's just go all the way up. We just uncomment this, so we add our collection view there. Now, what else do we have here? Well, first of all, we want to add a feed bar bottom item, and yeah, that is where we kind of create our meal. It's kind of creating a cat, but we are going to do with a meal. So let's do that. Let me just make this a little bit larger. So let meal equals meal with a context. Again, self.core datastack.managed context. And we want to set the date to our current date. So meal.date equals date. And then let's grab our meals. So let meals equals, yeah, and I will just type this out. It will be kind of creating a copy. It has its syntax, but bear with me. So self.cat.meals mutable copy, mutable copy. There we go. And as mutable ordered set. And as mutable ordered set. So now we have another problem here. As you can see, this is ns mutable ordered set. So let's go back to our meal here. So our meals, and this will be an ns ordered set. So let's hit Command B again, and hopefully that error will go away. Yeah, that's correct. So now we can go and type in meals, question mark, because it's an optional, add, and meal. There we go. And finally, we need to grab our cat, self.cat.meals equals meals. Now that we have set our meal onto our meals array onto our cat, we want to save. So self.core datastack save context, and we want to reload our collection view. So self.collection view.reload reload data on main thread, which is kind of really simple. Let's just jump into definition. It's grabbing the dispatch queue.main.async and reloading the data. So it's just reloading on the main thread. Okay, so that's that for the feed bar bottom item. Next up, we want to set our feed bar bottom item, if it isn't already added, onto the navigation bar. So let's just do that after the title. So navigation controller, navigation item, sorry about that, item dot set right bar bottom item and feed bar bottom item animated false. Okay, so that's that. And let's see here, do we need anything else? Yes, we need to go down to the meal cell delegate, and we want to delete. So how do we actually delete this meal? Well, we first of all grab our meal to be deleted, and that could be an optional, so we go with guard let and meal to delete and cat dot meals at index path dot row, because that on the cell of our collection view we grab our index path, and whenever we tap, just take a look at the cell implementation, whenever we tap on that trash can, it will trigger this delegate method. Okay, and we want to cast that as a meal, otherwise we want to return, and we just want to delete that. Let me just make this a little bit more seeable. So core data stack dot managed context and delete the object and meal to delete. There we go. Now if you have been following along this tutorial series, then you know if you delete from the context, that's not going to delete from core data. You need to save the context. So core data stack, save context, and we want to reload. So collection view, reload data. Maybe we just, we are not on the background thread most probably, so we just call reload data. Okay, so let's build and run and see what actually happened here, because if I'm correct, then this is all the code you need. Now, if you are kind of busy right now because we did a lot of stuff, then don't worry about it. Just take a look at the project again so you may understand. So after a little bit of debugging, I found out that we need to add this in a navigation controller. So what you have to do here is, let's create a nav controller. So let nav controller equals UI navigation controller with a root view controller of our controller, and then add our nav controller to the Windows root view controller. Okay, that should fix it. So let's build and run again. Beta succeeded. That's always a good thing here. And as you can see here, we have our cat's meals. So let's add here, I don't know, maybe Lily, and let's submit. So we now need to choose a photo. Let's just wait for that. And let's see here. Really cool cat there. And for some reason it's not updating. Let's just build and run so we can see that it actually saved it. It did save it, but for some reason it's not going to refresh it. Let me just debug a little bit deeper. So after a little bit of debugging, I have come to the conclusion that you need to change a little bit of things. So just select cat and the relationship, and then select this, and then select ordered. So that's one thing that you need to add. Then go to our details view controller, and in the stack, just delete the spacer there. And finally, under the view controller, after the fetch, you need to add self collection view reload data on main thread. So go ahead and append all of those. So let's build and run and see how all of this looks like. And let's go into Kitty. Let's feed her. Let's do it again. And let's delete this one and then again. And let's add a new one. Let's say Billy. Submit. Choose photo here, recent, let's choose this one. Okay, and now let's feed her. Really nice. Now let's build and run again so we can see those free meals are already in there. As you can see, the cats are in there, and here is our free meals. Now that is really awesome. So now you know how you can use core data stacks in existing projects. Now I want you to hit that notification bell, because in the next video we are going to talk about MS Fetch Results Controller. That's right, we are going to end our core data tutorial saga with this awesome tutorial. While you wait for that, make sure to check out these videos as well too. I talk a lot about Swift UI, Swift in general, and as usual, I will see you in the next one.